Hey guys, it's Nate. Going over the Options Locator June 27th, 2021 newsletter. First things first, head over to the website and look at the risk disclaimer. Make sure you read over all that content there. Disclaimer can also be found on the Discord and at the end of the newsletter. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. So this week we've got AMGN again. That went double inside week. Went got a good move here over 241. Still needs to break out over this downward trend line. Get over that. Look at 244.51, 245 area, and then up here towards 247.75. And then I'd like to get a nice round number up to 250. But showing some good strength here. They didn't take, they tested the prior week's lows, couldn't break it. Went double inside week. Now we're coming back up to this range. If you want to look at it, a small cup and handle here, if you're into that thing, that's what we got going on here. Best Buy, BBY, would look for a move here over 114 and it's in a large Brownian formation here. Break out this downward trend line, get over 114, get over 114.74 area, 115, and then on up here. So a little congested in this area, so 118 might be a good target there. BJ, also in the Brownian formation here, kind of moving sideways. They filled this earnings gap, came back through. Now they're working back up. 50.18 is the current all-time high on that. So if we can get a nice push over 47.5 here, 48, 48.30, 49.44 would be ideal. Cisco, also in Brownian formation, they tried to push it out here based off of these 2 points back here. They couldn't, came back through. Now through this little flag here, I'd like to see a move. If not, then I would look to short it here under 52.5, and then see if they can push it down here towards the bottom part of the Brownian formation for a longer term short play. DD, we had DDD last week. DD, DuPont, this is more of a short setup here, because they've came back through the bottom or the midpoint of this Brownian formation. Now they're coming back through, so basically under 76, looking for a short 75.17, 74.51. I don't look for too much of a long play here. If so, it'd be over 78. Expedia, nice retest here, the bottom part of the Brownian formation off these 2 points back here. So they broke out of this downward trend line this week. So basically over 173 area, get up here over 174, 175 on up is what I'm looking at there. So I like this action. This volume, obviously we're going to see a ton of these volume bars based off of the rebalances on Friday. I'm not really paying a lot of attention to those. GLD, they filled this gap up here, pulled back. Now we have another open gap here. Obviously this moves with inflation and whatever else going on in the overall market, so pay attention to what's going on there. Basically if we can get over 168, I'd like to see them to push towards that gap a little bit under that upward trend line. Look to go short, test the weekly lows around 164.87 and see if we can get a nice retest there. But over 168 area, 169, 170, 171. Harley Davidson, they tested this gap here, couldn't do it, so they put in a new lower low, gave us this point to make a Brownian formation through that downward trend line. I'd like to see a nice push over 48. We're going to get some resistance right here, get over 48, get up here towards 49 and 50. So 50 resistance, and then up here at 52. IBM, they took the inside month up, but went right to the August of 2019 high. Now they're back in it. So I want to see a nice push over 147 here. See if they can finish the month up here around 150. JPM, this my favorite bank setup of the week. I had Citigroup down, but I decided not to put it in the newsletter. But I like this one here over 154.5. Get up here 157.62 and then 160.33. I like they filled that gap, and earnings in a couple weeks. So we'll see if we can get a nice push. They've reclaimed a lot of that large. You can see this had a 13 or 12.5 point week the prior week, the week of OPEX and the Fed. So see if we can get a nice push here. Starbucks was on my inside day list the other day as something to watch. It took it up, had a shooting star there, or inverted hammer, but still nice reclaim on Friday. Basically over 113.23 and want to see a nice push, and then see if we can push, 114.62, 116.09. So breaking out this channel here, so looking for a nice push there. T, we got this falling wedge here, large open gap, cheap options. So I'm looking for a nice move back over 29 here, 29, 29.34, 29.75 area, and then 30. TXN, similar here. We had it here the other day off the outside, the inside day up, couldn't push it much. So now we've got this downward trend line, outside day on Friday. Couldn't push it all the way, so we'll wait a little bit. We'll look for that break over that high there of 190.25. See if we can get a nice solid push up over 192 and on up. Broom on a weekly scale, it's coming out of a larger downward trend line here. So if we can break out over 44.37 area, get up here over the downward trend line 45, break out here 46.29 area, and then keep pushing up towards whatever high this is here, 48.88 or 48.80. So we can break out this nice downward trend line on a larger scale. They filled this open gap here, so got some good stuff going on with this one. So Workhorse, I like this one to a certain degree. We all know it can be iffy and shady. So double inside week, basically over 16. I like it. Confirm it through that downward trend line. Get up here over, what was this, 1689, 1744 on up. You gotta be careful with this one. That's very news dependent, and so just be careful with that one. Walmart, I do like this one here. Larger broadening formation here. Still, I don't know why that gap is so big. So they filled this gap here. Oops. They filled it and then they came back through. So looking at this downward trend line here, nice action this week. You even mentioned that in the chat early on, that had a nice couple of days starting out the week, and then they closed out the week pretty strong. Coming up to resistance here right in the middle of this broadening formation around 139. Break over 139 through that downward trend line. I like it. Push up to 140, 141, and on up. Other setups here, Airbnb. So this old broadening formation that took the inside month down right here. I like it. So this bottom part of the broadening formation has now become a new flag on the daily. Oops. So we'll just, if I got rid of that and then put a flag here, you'll be able to see a little bit better. Same thing essentially. Oops. So similar. I mean, we're stair stepping up. Same thing. So we break over that flag, get over 155 area. I'd like to see a nice push back up to 160 and have them. I don't mind the stair stepping, but if we can get a nice few green bars like right in here or here, that'd be swell. AMAT, Applied Materials, on our inside week, And I want to say Airbnb was not an area inside week. Yes, barely triggered prior week's lows. So AMAT on an area inside week, barely took out the prior week's lows. This old breakout area became support, bounced right off of it. Through this downward trend line, I want to see over 140, 142.12 up to 146. That's what I'm looking for this week on that one. Beyond, I really like this setup. Another one on our area inside week. Through that downward trend line, we've had it since back here. I mean, we caught this move way ahead of everybody else. So, through that downward trend line, basically over 148 and a quarter. Want to see him confirm 150 through that downward trend line, 153.43 on up to 155 plus. It needs to hold this area here, 141. If it breaks 141, I wouldn't be surprised to see them test this gap. And finally, DIS. We had this downward trend line channel breakout this week. And now we're looking for a bigger breakout over this short-term resistance here of 179.10. Breakout of that. First target is 181.01. Small gap above here, I think 182.50. So that's what I'm looking at there. There's a lot of inside weeks to choose from this week. Like I said, going into the end of the month, just be careful. There's going to be some more rebalancing and whatnot. So hope you guys had a good week, had a good month. We'll finish the month strong, go into July. Short week the following week because of the 4th of July holiday. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of the low volume going into Thursday and Friday, likely, with people going on vacation to celebrate the holiday. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.